pretty informative training with a lot of details, and we don't want you to worry about retaining all of it. This is just kind of an overview of the cookie program. A lot of it is background information. A lot of it you may already know. So just kind of sit back and absorb the information, and you can ask as many questions as you need to in the questions box, or you can always talk to your product sales manager after the presentation is over if you have some really specific, lengthy, detailed questions. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. There we go. So our theme this year is there's something amazing inside. It means there's something amazing inside every girl that participates in the cookie program, every volunteer that supports her, and every box of cookies itself. There's something wonderful inside, amazing. Our mascot is a cheetah. Her name is Savannah, and she has a cute little Samoa on her paw because it is Samoa's 40th birthday this year, which we're really excited about. The reason why we do the cookie program and what the girls get out of it are the 5 skills: goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. These are skills that will serve them for their whole lives in their business and their personal lives. If girls want to get a little bit more programmatic support around the cookie program, we do have pins and badges for all levels, and we have the cookie activity pin. The girls earn the cookie activity pin as they go through the activities in the cookie program that helps them earn the pin. And they have financial literacy and cookie business badges at all levels. Cookie kickoffs. We're hoping that all of our service units will do cookie kickoffs this year. It's a rally to excite, encourage, and motivate the girls where they have usually different booths where they go around and practice their sales pitch, for instance, or they taste the different cookies, and they get really excited about the cookie program. When girls attend a cookie kickoff, they average 50 boxes more than girls who don't. There's an online party this year hosted by Little Brownie Baker. It's called Samoa's Bash. It's like a movie, basically, that the girls can watch in a group or alone that'll launch on January 10th. And most cookie kickoffs will be happening on January 10th or the 17th before our cookie program starts. And if you can hold for just a second, David's jabbering me. I think he's still having trouble getting in. I'm just going to respond to him that I started it. So we have a lot new this year, as you've heard at the all-staff meeting. We've got the $5 box price, which means the troops are going to earn more proceeds. We have 2 new cookies, Rah Rah Raisin and the gluten-free Toffee-tastic. We've got our direct sale format, where the girls are going to be selling cookies in hand as soon as they get them without the pre-orders. And in order to get these cookies, we want the troops to have a good starting inventory order, where they have 75% of last year's cookies that they sold, they would have on time. Are you seeing my screen now? Apparently my screen wasn't showing. So hopefully you can see my screen. Can somebody confirm that you can even see the screen and that you can hear me? Just type in the questions box. Okay. Great. Perfect. Thank you. As I was saying, we're hoping that troops submit a healthy starting inventory order, which will be 75% of what they sold last year. And we just wanted to let everybody know that ABC, the other bakery, has a new gluten-free cookie. It's called the Trio. It's an oatmeal, peanut butter, and chocolate chip flavor, all in one cookie. So it's very different from our Toffee-tastic cookie. Moving on. Trying to move on. So our price change is a big deal. We think it's going to be just fine in the marketplace, but it is very different from last year. Cookies were only $4 a box. Ever since 11 years ago, 2004. So this is the first time we've increased the price in since 2004. The Consumer Price Index in Los Angeles has gone up 25.2%. So that means that a box of cookies that was $4 in 2004 really should cost $5.36 today. So they're actually getting a little bit of a deal, I think. Wholesale cookie cost has increased 18%. So we usually get charged about 1 or 2 pennies a year more for the cookies, and that really adds up. And it's gone up 18% in the last 11 years. And what's really important about this price change is that the troops are going to be able to earn 95 cents a box from 75 cents, and troops that opt out of the rewards and opt to get more money will earn 10 cents extra a box up to $1.05, and it used to be only 5 cents and now it's 10 cents. We have the same Super 6 cookies that we've had in the past. Our Thin Mints are now vegan, which is an interesting point for the customers to know. Tagalongs, Trefoils, Do-si-dos, Savannah Smiles, those are all the same. The Samoa is still the same, but it is her birthday, so we want to make sure we celebrate her this year. And then we have our new Raw Raisin. It's an oatmeal raisin cookie with Greek yogurt flavored chips. It's the first new cookie since 2012. Which was Savannah Smiles, was our last cookie that we introduced for the 100th anniversary. We've replaced 2 retired cookies, so that means there's no more Thank You Berry Munch or Dulce de Leche anywhere in the country. Before, we were Super 6 Council, so we didn't carry those cookies, but they were still being produced. But now they're going to be gone altogether. And these cookies will have a normal rollout. They'll be on the order card, which is called the Go-Getter card this year, and will be in the cookie cupboards. Our gluten-free toffee-tastic cookie is a little bit different. It's a pilot, and that means that it's not on the order card. We purchased a limited amount of cases, 15,000. That was actually 4 times more than what Little Brownie recommended that we order. They wanted us to only order about 1% of our total cookie volume to be the gluten-free, but we think that because we're here in Los Angeles, there's a higher demand for the gluten-free cookie. So it's we ordered this many, which kind of averages out to about 5 cases per troop or half of a case per girl. The retail price is $6 a box, not $5, because the cost of the ingredients and producing the cookie is much higher than our standard cookie. And troops will order the gluten-free toffee-tastic as part of their starting inventory order. They can order up to 10 cases, and they won't be able to get them in the cupboards. They're only available during starting inventory order. So we have what we call Go-Getter cards. They look an awful lot like our order card, but they're smaller. They're only an 8.5 by 11 size. And the girls receive these at starting inventory order delivery because there's no pre-order, so there's no need for them to have the cards before they actually have the cookies. They can use these cards to track customer information and customer purchases so that they can always go back to a customer in a few weeks and say, hey, I know that you bought 2 boxes of Thin Mints and a box of Do-si-dos. Have you eaten through them? Would you like to order more? So they can use that for customer contact. And they can also use it if a customer wants a cookie that they don't have. They can track that information down to they can track the information on the card so that the girls can get the cookies for the customers. And just a point for you to know, we don't hand them out at the council level. The girls receive them from the Troop Cookie Chair. Troop Cookie Chair receives them from their Service Unit Cookie Program Chair. That's the chain of how girls actually get the cards. So if they walk into the council office wanting a card, we don't really give it to them. David's telling me he can't get in, so I'm going to tell him that I've got this covered, and I think I will end up doing the entire webinar. Okay, so what's really important with a direct sale where the cookies are just kind of flying out, is that we want to make sure that the troop cookie chair is touching base with the girls' parents at least once a week. And we're calling them Mondays and Touch Base Tuesdays. And what we really mean by that is the girls should support the promptly and frequently mantra that we use, saying to deposit the money promptly and frequently. We want them to do that. We want the troops to collect money every time they give cookies to a girl. They should be collecting money from previous sales. So that's why we say Monday, Mondays, they should do that at least once a week. They should be collecting money. And Touch Base Tuesdays means that the troop cookie chair should be checking in with the parents to see what their inventory is, if they have enough inventory to get through the next week, or if they need more cookies, or if they have too many cookies on hand, and the troop might arrange to take them back. And this helps the troop know what they need to do for the following week in terms of their cupboard runs, so they know how many cookies they might need to get for girl orders or for the booths. The starting inventory order. This is pretty much the most important piece of the direct sale. The starting inventory order means that troops are going to be ordering cookies without customer orders behind them. But that's okay. They're going to order 75% of what they sold last year because the girls are going to go back to their customers and sell the cookies again. And the girls are going to go do their booth sales and sell the cookies again. So it's okay to order the cookies without customer orders behind them. So they'll order the cookies ahead of time, and it should cover the troops for 2 weeks plus the opening booth weekend. So they can get the cookies and distribute them out to the girls immediately. The girls go out to their customers, their family and friends, people that they've sold cookies to before, and they sell their cookies. And then they can come back to the troop for more cookies if they need them. The cupboards will open immediately starting February 2nd. Our cookie program starts February 1st. So the cupboards will open right away, but we don't want the troops to rely on them to pick up their starting inventory order because it will really just deplete the supplies. If troops don't order a starting inventory order that they pick up at the warehouse or their delivery site, if they just come to the cupboard for that, then our cupboards are going to get overrun very, very quickly. We have the Excel file that David showed us at the all-staff meeting. It's fantastic. A returning troop just has to enter their troop number and the number of girls that are going to participate this year, plug in that information, and it will pop up exactly how many cookies to order and even in what varieties. The same thing for new troops. The new troops just plug in what level they are, what area they're in, and how many girls are going to participate in the program, and they'll be able to see how many cookies they should pick up based on what troops in their area have done before. And it's got lots of details on it so that the troops feel comfortable with what the result is. It even tells them what their starting inventory order debit is going to be, that first debit that they have taken out. It'll tell them exactly what it'll be and even how many boxes of cookies it means the girls have to sell in order to make that debit. So it's a really great tool. We want troops to be confident in their starting inventory orders because we're asking them to order 75% of what they expect to sell. Typically, we would ask for 80%, but this year is the first year and we don't want to overtax the troops or stress them out. We're all still learning about how this works. The ACH debit for the first debit was reduced 37%. It used to be $2.08 a box, and now it's $1.50 a box. So it's actually less than what the troops have had to pay in the past for their first debit. And it's with the boxes costing $5 a box, the money is actually going to come in faster than it did when they were $4 a box. So they should be able to make this $1.50 a box debit for the first debit. We have a starting inventory order return policy. Troops can order up to 10 unopened cases if they need to. There are some guidelines around that, but basically if they can't sell cookies from their starting inventory order, they can return some of them. eBuddy will not limit how many Toffee-tastic cookies a troop can order. So we're recommending an average of 5 cases per troop with a cap of 10. And that would give us our 15,000 cases. But we want to So we want to let troops order up to their 10 cases, but eBuddy will let them order 20 or 50 cases if they enter it. So we're going to ask the service unit cookie program chairs to help us whittle down those numbers if we need to. We've trained troops about that. And just a note, 75% feels like a lot, but in reality it really is comparable to a starting inventory order from last year. Troops typically ordered up to 72% before anyway, so this is just a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to check the chat to make sure I don't have any questions. Okay, I don't. Okay, here's the fun stuff, the 2015 rewards. These are rewards that are on the screen are the ones that we got from Little Brownie Baker, and we've given samples to all of the service unit chairs so that they can show them to the troops and get the girls excited about what they're going to be earning. We're super excited about Savannah because she's so cute. There's a really nice travel case and duffel bag. This cap is super cute. It's got the I Heart Samoas on it. And the wristlet wallet. A few years ago we did a wristlet wallet and it was a huge hit, so we're doing it again. We think girls are going to love it. And here we have the starting inventory cookie clipboard. So if a troop orders that 75% of cookies for the starting inventory, then each girl will get a clipboard. Sorry, trying to click through. Here's some of the other rewards, a really cool water bottle. Our patch is really colorful and very cute. We have a bandana, and we have a Samoa's pillow that we think girls are really going to love. And then we have, these are kind of our top tier rewards. They're at different levels, but these are the really cool ones. The t-shirt this year is using our amazing graphic and theme, and it's really, really cute. And we also have a milk truck, a Samoan milk truck that's similar to the VW Bug that we had a few years ago. We brought something similar back so that girls can expand their collections. And we have a hoodie this year for the troops that have a 300 troop per girl average. And it's peace, love, and Samoas in bling, just like the t-shirt was last year. Now it's a hoodie that they can see. We still have our Club 500 and Elite 1000 events. Elite 1000 is going to be held at Disneyland instead of California Adventure. Last year it was at California Adventure, so this year it's at Disneyland. It'll still be the YES program, so girls get to do a pretty cool activity in the morning before enjoying the park with their parent. And we have a totally revised lunch that's very different from how we did lunch last year, so we think it's going to go very well. The girls and the adults should enjoy it. I want to walk you through the calendar a little bit just so you can kind of get a feel for what the cookie program is going to look like next year. In January, troops have the opportunity to start scheduling their booth sites. They get to pick up to 9 spots before they actually place their starting inventory order, and they do that in rounds. And the way the rounds work is on the first round, for instance, they get to pick 3 spots in their home service unit. Then the booth scheduler closes for 24 hours, and then it opens again. They get to pick 2 more rounds outside of their service unit, anywhere they want. It closes again, then it opens, and they get to pick more. They get to pick more booths, and so they'll have a really good idea of how many booths they're going to be doing before they even place that starting inventory order. It's another way we're trying to make them feel comfortable about placing that starting inventory order. The starting inventory order is due on January 14th. The day before the mid-year financial reports are due. And if the troops are going to participate in our corporate booth program, then those applications are due January 16th. Just to give you a point of reference, Orange County, San Gorgonio, and San Diego councils all start with cookies in hand the week before we do. We're going to be delivering cookies out to troops starting on January 29th going through the 31st. With our go day of when the cookies sale actually starts being February 1st. So troops and girls will get their cookies Saturday the 31st, in most cases. Then Sunday they'll be able to just go out and sell those cookies. The next day, Monday, the 2nd, is when the cookie cupboards open. And then we've got a couple of weeks of individual girl direct sales where the girls reach out to the people that they know and their customers. And And then we have boothing starting on February 13th. That's also the day that the ACH debit will hit the troop accounts. So we recommend that they have the money in their accounts by the 9th in order for it to be able to be debited on the 13th. We have National Cookie Weekend, which is a social media event. You should see some fun stuff around that. And then on March 8th, the whole shebang is done, giving the troops back their March month, because in the past we've closed on the around the 22nd, and so they weren't able to do anything else in March. So we've actually shortened the cookie program by 2 to 3 weeks. The ACH debit number 2, where we're collecting the final monies, is actually due on March 20th, which gives the troops a lot of time to get the rest of that money into their troop accounts. Most troops have done their service unit training at this point, and so they're all trained. But we're also going to have what we're calling just-in-time trainings, which are 5 to 10-minute videos of different technical processes that the troops do, like how to place a starting inventory order, how to sign up in the booth scheduler, how to allocate the cookies to girls, how to enter payments, things like that. So they'll be listed on our website in our Cookie VIP e-training. And we'll definitely put out information about how troops can access them when it's time. So switching a little bit our gears, we're moving on to standards and responsibilities. And basically we're saying that the girls and their parents are responsible for following all of the rules and guidelines listed on the parent permission form and in the troop guide. And consequences will apply if rules are ignored. What that means is if a girl, for instance, starts boothing on the sidewalk in front of her house, sidewalk boothing is not allowed, then she might get a consequence. But the way this consequence structure is set up is the first time somebody doesn't follow the rules, the Service Unit Cookie Program is going to reach out to them, have a conversation with them, let them know where they can find the rules, what the rules are, and then pretty much make them responsible for knowing what the rules are after they have this conversation. So if they were to go out and do something again that was against the rules, then a consequence would apply. And the consequences that we have in place that were vetted by our GO team are losing troop proceeds. So for example, if an older girl troop is boothing before February 13th, then they might not be able to opt out if they wanted to opt out. Or if it's a girl, just a girl, not a whole troop doing something, then she might not get her highest reward earned. Or a troop might lose their boothing opportunities. Going back to responsibilities, troop cookie chairs are responsible for all of the cookies until the parents signs a receipt, all of the money until the money is deposited into the bank account, and all the girl rewards until they're distributed to the girls and the parent signs the receipt. So this year we really want to keep track of the rewards and who's passing them out and who's picking them up, and we're going to be asking the troop chairs to actually collect receipts of giving out the rewards, so that we don't have a whole lot of later on people coming back to us and telling us that they didn't get their rewards. So we have member services action items throughout this presentation. You'll see a few things that will be a call to action by member services. And one of them is to help us collect the TCC agreements, ACH authorizations, and voided check from each troop. Verify that there's 2 signatures on the ACH form, and make sure that there really is a copy of the check or a letter from the bank with the account information on it. And then we would ask you to sort and file it by service unit and troop number order, and then record it on the Excel form that you used for fall. So that'll start happening January 13th when we start receiving them, and I believe that they'll be going to customer care. I kind of already explained how the booth scheduler works. We're already collecting the booth data from the service units. We started getting it earlier this week. We're entering it into eBuddy so that the troops can look and see what's available for them. And then this is just a schedule of how much the troops can, how many choices the troop have in each round. And my chart got a little wonky because of the fonts, but this gives you an idea of how it's supposed to work. So after the troops figure out what their starting inventory order is supposed to be, then they just enter it in eBuddy. And it should be really easy for them to do because they're not collecting the orders by girl. They're just submitting a whole troop order. They have to submit it by 11:30 p.m. on January 14th. Every troop has to submit an order. We don't want any troops not submitting an order and then coming to the cupboard and just picking up cookies from the cupboard. If the troop orders a 75% recommendation, then the girls will get the really cute clipboard. And if they order less than the 75%, they should not submit for that starting inventory reward, and we will delete any wrong reward orders as needed. We'll be asking the service unit cookie program chairs to help us with this part. The starting inventory order delivery, also known as delivery day or warehouse day, will be January 29th to the 31st. Every troop signs up for a delivery time where the service unit assigns each troop a delivery time. We ask the troops to please be on time, and it's very important for them to verify their count of the cases, and then they sign for them. And we want them to take the cookies straight home and distribute them to the girls right away because the sale starts right away. And they should never ever leave cookies in a car because even in January in LA it can be pretty warm. And parents need to sign receipts for all of the cookies that they receive. And the way we set out safety guidelines are as follows. Basically, the money is collected as the cookies are sold. So girls shouldn't be collecting money up front for cookies they haven't delivered. And likewise, they shouldn't deliver cookies to a customer without collecting payment. Payment must be collected in person, not online. So the girl actually has to collect the payment from the customer. They can't like PayPal it to them. It has to be the girl. The girls should always wear something that identifies them as a Girl Scout, whether it's their membership pin, their vest, a sash, or a Girl Scout t-shirt. Girls should do door-to-door selling in daylight hours only with a buddy, and the buddy can be an adult or a parent. Girls should never enter a customer's home or approach a car. And 2 adults must be present at booths at all times with some exceptions that will apply that we'll go over in just a few minutes. And money and checks collected should always be safeguarded immediately and deposited promptly and frequently. The cupboards, as I mentioned, will open on Monday, February 2nd. There's a cupboard schedule in the website for details because not all cupboards will open on the 2nd. So the cupboards that aren't normally open on Mondays may not open on that February 2nd date. Troops may pick up from any cupboard within the council. We ask them to place a pending order 24 to 48 hours in advance of picking up their cookies. That helps us manage the inventory. There has to be, the troop representative who's picking up the cookies must be listed in eBuddy, and they may be asked to show an ID. We do have specific dates for returns, exchanges, and consignments. So those are the different types of transactions in addition to just picking up cookies. And they're within separate time frames so that you can't do returns and exchanges at the same time because that got really confusing last year. Damaged cookies, however, may be exchanged at any time. So if a box of cookies is crushed or in some other way damaged, they can just bring it to any cupboard and get a replacement box of the same variety right at the same time. And we ask the troops to bring their troop number and eBuddy password to the cupboard to facilitate our use of the paperless cupboard transaction system on the tablets. So these are the different types of transactions that troops can do other than just picking up cookies. As I mentioned before, troops can return up to 10 cases of their starting inventory order cookies, but the contingencies around that are that they can't have accepted additional product into the inventory, meaning they can't have come to the cupboard and gotten more cookies or gotten cookies from a troop. And we are not accepting returns of the Toffee-tastic cookies. We have even exchanges from February 9th to March 1st. they enter the pending order in eBuddy just as if they were picking up cookies, because again, this helps us with our inventory management. Not all cupboards will accept even exchanges, so the troops need to check the cupboard schedule to see if a cupboard accepts exchanges. And damages are not considered an even exchange. As I mentioned before, they can be replaced at any time at any cupboard. And then we have consignments. This is where troops can pick up to 10 cases of cookies between March 2nd to the 8th, and they can bring back those cookies if they don't sell them all. So they can bring back up to 10 cases, and it should be the same varieties that they picked up. So if they picked up 10 cases of Thin Mints, they shouldn't try to bring us back 5 cases of Do-Si-Dos. And again, not all cupboards will offer consignments. They will have to check the cupboard schedule in order to see which cupboards have consignments. Boothing. This is when people think that the cookie program really starts, is when the girls start boothing. Girls can booth from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., although only juniors and older can booth after 6 p.m. So the younger girls, daisies and brownies, should be boothing only until 6 p.m. And they should be boothing outside of regular school hours, so usually not before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for instance, unless they're homeschooled and they have a note or a sign at their booth saying that they're off track or they're homeschooled or out of school that day or something, so the customers don't get the perception that the girls are ditching school to sell cookies. And we recommend that daisies should booth for only 1 hour at a time because they are younger, they have shorter attention spans, and a 3 or 4 hour time slot is just really too long for a little daisy. Lemonade stands are booths on private residential property of someone that the girl knows. They don't need any special permission. They don't need to go in eBuddy. So it's just basically a stand in front of their home. And it's on their private property, not on the sidewalk. Corporate booths are booths that happen in high-rise buildings downtown in Long Beach, Burbank on the west side. There's an application due January 16th, and the preference is given to older girls. So younger girls have a chance of selling it at corporate booths, but most likely it's going to be older girls who are given the opportunities. If a troop has scheduled a booth, whether it's a corporate booth or a regular booth, they need to let everybody know and cancel it if they're not going to do it, so that we can make sure that another troop can use that booth, and so customers don't go to a booth looking for cookies and there's nobody there. We do have boothing safety rules. The general rule is that there should be a minimum of 2 girls and 2 adults at each door, with the adults holding on to the large amounts of money with the large bills and depositing the money. Sometimes as they go, they can have another parent come and collect money from them during the boothing shift and go deposit it in the bank so they're not hanging on to large amounts of money. Adults handle all money for daisies, and girls should never approach a car or follow a customer to their car. So we do have exceptions for the boothing rules. For seniors and ambassadors, it's okay for 2 girls and 1 adult to do a booth. And we also have a new setup this year called One Girl, One Parent boothing. And this is generally aimed at Juliets or girls that have really high goals for their cookie sale. Here's a couple little details about it. The parents must be registered. It's for cadets and olders. And the troop cookie share must schedule the booth for the girl in eBuddy. So just like the troops get scheduled in eBuddy, the girls would get scheduled in eBuddy as well. And they can start having these booths after the first 2 weekends of boothing is when individual girls can booth. When they're boothing, girls should be wearing their membership pin, uniform, sash, vest, or Girl Scout t-shirt. Again, we want them to be identifiable as Girl Scouts. We encourage them to arrive on time and be prepared to leave when their shift is over. The first troop should check in with the store or location management or the troop before them if they're not the first troop. In addition to Girl Scout rules and guidelines, there may also be different rules and requirements for each location, such as where to stand or how many people can be there. And so the troops must follow those rules. There's no tag-alongs allowed unless they're covered in chocolate with peanut butter. So only registered Girl Scouts should be at the booth, and they're adults. We tell the girls to clean up all their trash and take it with them and not to dump it in the location's trash can, so there shouldn't be cases of cookies in the Vons trash. We want girls to greet people warmly, smile, and remain pleasant under all circumstances. This is part of the business ethics part of the 5 skills, and to thank the management at the end of the shift. We recommend certain practices for a successful booth. One is to pitch the Gift of Caring program to every customer, to accept credit cards, to make their booth appealing. We have boothing kits that every single troop gets at training, and the council shops also have different marketing tools like the really nice professional tablecloths. We also have cookie costumes and banners available at each service center, checked out by the receptionist. There is a deposit for the cookie costumes, and there is a fee to rent the banners. And we encourage troops to bring certain things to make sure they have a successful booth site. Extra change to make change, or extra cash to make change. They should bring their booth site confirmation from eBuddy, important phone numbers such as the service unit cookie program chair and the troop leader, enough cookies for sure. We don't want them running out in the middle of a booth. They do have a booth inventory sheet to record their inventory and money, and they can also use the booth sale recorder app, which is an app on their smartphone where they can allocate the cookies to the girls right there from the booth. They don't have to wait till they get home to do it. And this is how you allocate boxes to girls using the booth sale recorder app or directly in eBuddy. You just enter the number of cookies sold by variety and then the names of the girls that were present and click distribute, and then it distributes the cookies out evenly to the girls. Gift of Caring is a really important add-on sale, and this year it's going to be even more important because we don't have the $4 price point for the cookies where the customer would often give the extra $1 out of $5 for a donation. So our participation in Gift of Caring has gone up. It went to 39% from 36% last year, but it still means that 61% of the girls don't report any Gift of Caring sales. And in 2014, we sold 166,000 boxes of Gift of Caring, which averages to 14 boxes per girl. So it really is a successful sales model. And as I mentioned before, the girls are really going to have to be pretty aggressive with Gift of Caring this year and make sure that they mention it to the customers, because they're not filling out the order card, so they're not going to be seeing the column for Gift of Caring. They're not going to be told to keep the change with the $5. So it means it's just important for girls to ask for it. A lot of customers are very happy to do Gift of Caring. They just need to be asked. And we changed the reward levels from last year, where the girls got rewards at 10 and 24 boxes of Gift of Caring, that now they get rewards at 10, 20, and 30 boxes of Gift of Caring. There's the Gift of Caring patch at 10 boxes. At 20 boxes, they get this really cute purple Samoa bracelet and charm. And then at 30 boxes, they get another charm. It's the s'mores charm. So we're really hoping the girls get motivated to sell Gift of Caring because they're going to really want these cool rewards. We're encouraging troops to accept credit cards because our old $5 for 20 sales pitch doesn't work anymore. Now it's 5 for 25 instead of just 20. We know that a lot of people don't carry cash or have a limited amount of cash on them. So this is a great way to incorporate multiple sales for the customers. The different vendors like Square and PayPal and Intuit have free readers available to the troops, but the credit card readers must be linked to the troop account. So if there's a mom in the troop who has her own business, her own small business, for instance, where she already uses a swiper to accept payments, that's not going to go to the troop account. That's going to go to her business account. So she can't use that swiper. She has to use a troop one that's linked to the troop account. And credit card sales increase the gross sales by 25 boxes. So if they sell those Gift of Caring, they get an extra 14, plus if they accept credit cards, that's another 25, so that's another 40 boxes, plus another 50 if they went to a cookie kickoff. Banking basics. Every troop needs to turn in a completed ACH debit authorization and voided troop check. That's so that we can pull the money out of their account. They enter this information on the Settings tab in eBuddy. As I mentioned before, we want troops to collect money from girls at least once a week or every time they're giving them more cookies. Troops should give a receipt for everything and keep a copy. So every box of cookies that a troop gives to a parent and every dollar that a troop receives from a parent should be receipted, with both parties keeping a copy of the receipt. As I mentioned, troops should deposit their money by February 9th for the first ACH debit on February 13th, and then likewise deposit all of the funds by March 16th for the final ACH debit on March 20th. If troops don't have enough money for either of the debits, we can adjust it for them. All they have to do is contact their PSM 48 hours ahead of time, and then we can make an adjustment. And troops are having a lot of concern about being able to make this payment, especially the first payment. And what I've been telling them is all the reasons why they should be able to, like it's only $1.50 instead of $2.08. With a direct sale, cookies go really, really fast. At $5, they're going to collect the money more quickly than they did before. All of those reasons. But they still have any concerns, please remind them that they can contact their product sales manager and get that debit reduced if necessary. But we need at least 48 hours ahead of time for them in order to do that. As I mentioned before, here's some girl and troop money rules. The payment is collected only when the cookies are delivered. Credit cards may be accepted, but the payments must go straight into the troop bank accounts. If troops are taking a check, it should be made payable to Girl Scout troop or whatever the troop number is. Girls should not accept bills larger than $20 because we do get counterfeits every year. It's very sad. Money should be submitted and deposited in their original format and never deposited into a personal bank account with the parent then writing a check for the whole amount to the troop. So if the parent collects cash, they need to be turning in the cash to the troop chair. The eBuddy sales report contains the basic data points of the troop sale. It's got everything there. It has the number of girls selling, the number of girls registered, the per girl average, whether they've opted out of rewards or not. It's got every transaction they did, every covered transaction, or if they did any troop-to-troop transfers. It also has a record of the ACH debits that were made and how much the troop's proceeds are and how much the troop is owing to council. So the troop treasurer needs to get this report in order to complete their financial report at the end of the year. This information would tell them everything they need to know. We have different ways for managing debt. We have a $300 credit limit, and there's a lot of misconception out there that it means that families can only have $300 worth of boxes at a time. That's not true. That would only mean 60 boxes at a time, and that's really not feasible. Girls sell a lot more than that most of the time. But what it does mean is that troops, it's a tool for troops to collect that money from the adults, from the parents. So if they keep telling them they have a $300 credit limit, it really gives them some leverage for collecting the money from the parents. Troops are responsible for any NSF fees that are caused by them, especially because they know the dates and the amounts due, and they can reduce the debit amount, but the troop has to make the effort to contact the product sales manager on time in order to reduce that debit. Our financial policies are really successful. Out of our $18 million sale in 2014, we only had 3 debits for $4,000 total, and in 2013, we only had 1 troop debit out of $17 million for $2,300. Our policies are so successful that we train the country, by we I mean David, trains all the other product sales directors and managers at the 2015 product sales conference like he did in the 2012 product sales conference. So another member services action item is collections from troops or for troops. What that means is If the Troop's debit bounces, then we might ask you to go out to contact them and find out when we can debit them again. Or if a parent doesn't pay the Troop, then you might contact the parent and try to collect the money on behalf of the Troop. If the Troop can't pay in full by March 20th, they need to submit a discrepancy report. So that's how we know that the Troop can't make the payment. We'll make the first contact by March 31st, then we'll ask member services, probably service unit support, to take over from us. eBuddy has all the information about the amount due and the payments, as I showed you on the sales report. We will be doing a special training for service unit support or whoever is going to be handling the debt collection. We'll do that probably in late March. We're going to redebit once a week until May 1st, and after that it will be only certified checks accepted. Cookie Central is our website that has everything. It's got links to VIP e-training and eBuddy, apps, forums, our cookie locator and the mobile app, Cookie Club, activities, recipes, tips, volunteer guides. Everything that's needed for the cookie program is on Cookie Central. So if a Troop contacts you and they need a form or they need the cupboard schedule or dates for the program, all of that is right here at Cookie Central in one of those trefoils. We have the Cookie Club, which is an online order-taking system. And what it does is it sends out emails from the girls to their customers asking them if they want to order cookies. The customer sends the email back ordering the cookies, and then the girl delivers the cookies and collects the money in person. So it's not quite digital cookie. It's almost there, but not quite, because the girls are actually delivering the cookies and collecting the payment. Digital order card or digital cookie was a pilot that GSUSA is doing this year with Little Brownie, and GSGLA opted out, as you already know. We're hoping to opt in for 2.0 in 2016. There were just too many changes in our program for 2015 to add something that was as unknown as this pilot system that's under development still, so we didn't do that. If we do go into 2.0, then that will replace Cookie Club, so our digital cookie program will be what the girls send out to customers, and the customers would place their orders, make their payment, and have the cookies delivered just like our eNuts system. As I mentioned before, National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend will be February 27th to March 1st. It's basically a social media online holiday, so we should be hearing some information about it then. We're asking several service units in the San Fernando Valley to plan walkabouts using what's called the grid technique, where each troop actually picks a section of their service unit, maybe a few blocks within the service unit. They commit to walking around and knocking on every single door, doing door-to-door sales. Any service unit can do it, though. We have various technology available for the cookie program. The Cupboard Keeper app allows us paperless cupboard transactions, so no more receipts at the cupboards that are using the Cupboard Keeper app. We have the Cookie Locator or Cookie Finder, so that customers can find the cookies in real time. So if a customer lives in zip code 90017, they just have to punch that into the app, and it will tell them all of the booths that are going to be taking place right there in that zip code. We have an interactive volunteer guide from the bakery for the volunteers, and there's also a volunteer blog for the volunteers to get connected with other volunteers and get resources and ideas. And then we have the Pixie list so that troops can post when they have extra cookies or they need cookies. Oh, Noreen just told us that marketing is planning a golden ticket promotion during National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend to get some media attention, so stay tuned for more info. That should be exciting. We do have marketing partnerships, a lot of the same ones that we had last year. Go Country is our official Gift of Caring sponsor. MyFM is doing their $5,000 Facebook contest, and Lazy Dog Cafe is doing their Thin Mint Shake again. And we get lots of support from KTLA with program interviews and news stories. We have some really fun cookie retail merchandise to make the marketing look a little bit more professional for the troops. There's a yard sign and stake. There's the 4-sided tablecloth. The cookie mug is just for fun. I think it's fantastic. I think I'm probably going to get myself one. There's cookie keychain, and there's fun patches that go along with it as well. And wrapping it all up, so once troops have allocated all of the cookies to the girls, then they have to submit the rewards order. And at certain levels, they have to actually choose like sizes or recognitions. And troops that opt out of rewards, if their per girl average is 230 or more, they actually usually earn more money if they don't opt out, because we give them $15 per girl when they hit that 230 PGA. So that often works out better than the extra 10 cents a box. And then the troops have to actually submit a rewards order. Otherwise, the rewards don't get ordered. So the troops have to complete all of their allocations, get your carrying entries, troop transfers, and grow rewards by March 11th. They'll deposit everything by March 16th with the final ACH debit on March 20th and discrepancy reports due. We're planning on getting the rewards out to the service units in early May, so they'll be picking up the grow rewards from the service unit cookie program chair in time for their spring ceremonies. Any unclaimed rewards will be donated because we don't have a lot of space to hang on to them, so they don't pick them up from a cookie chair, then they come back to council and we actually donate them. And the last thing the troop cookie chair does is sort and distribute the reward orders. Here's another member services action item. So if there are any reward errors, then we'll be asking service unit support to help us fill those orders and correct the errors. And then basically, for basic customer service and customer care, we would like to know about the common questions that you get about the cookie program. David's going to be in on the Friday huddles to hear your needs and provide answers. But if you can track for us, if you're getting a lot of the same questions over and over, let us know so that we can put messaging out to the troops. And that's it. You did cookies. All done. You know what you need to know. It was a lot of information, but a lot of it you've heard before. And like, if you have any other questions, you can always contact me or any of the product sales managers, and we can walk you through anything that you need help with. So before I sign off, are there any other questions? Noreen loves me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Noreen. So we don't have any more questions, and I just want to thank you very much for your time. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.